Yo, what's up? It's your boy Doug, Teenager of the Year. You're listening to the WNS podcast. We're going to skate the one song and one song only.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug, Teenager of the Year.
And we welcome you to episode 198 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast. That's a mile. That's right.
If you want to follow us on Stitcher,
Then call for your bow.
Beyond Pod and Player.fm, just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
At the bathroom style.
Twitter, we're at WNS Podcast, at WNS_Daniel, and at Tyler_Abear.
Where you deserve to have it all. The followers, that is. The path to 1 million followers. How's that going, by the way? When was the last time you checked your Twitter?
I don't know.
Do you even have the Twitter app on your phone?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I didn't tell you. It's just that I just
got a new phone and
yeah.
just didn't even. Okay. So that's how dedicated he is to not tweeting until he gets 1 million followers, folks. You got to get there and make sure you follow us. Let him know. So getting ever closer to that episode 200, right around the corner. Trying to think of some special things that we can do. Who knows? Tossing around a few ideas. We'll see what we can do. But first, how you guys doing?
All right.
Yeah, you hanging in there?
Mm-hmm.
How was Renfest?
It was all right.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, I probably go every other year, but I mean, it's the same. I just pretty much went there to eat food.
Yeah.
But I think next time I'm gonna go, I'm gonna save up money because there's some swords I want.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The violent stuff.
I mean, one that you really can't hurt. You just whack the shit out of someone. Is
Yeah.
the Keyblade replica,
Mhm.
and then y'all told me there's like a metal master sword I can find.
There is.
Because I found a wooden master sword.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they sell metal, all of those.
Yeah, I want the metal.
The
master
good stuff.
sword.
It's a little pricey, but it's good stuff.
The master sword.
Yeah, I thought about maybe getting it, but then I was like, nah, I think my days of collecting stuff like that might be behind me.
No, it's not.
It might be.
You can rule the world with the master sword and the Dragon Balls.
Yes, I could. That would be awesome. So yeah, well, I'm glad you had a mediocre time, I guess. We'll talk about.
I don't want a mediocre. I don't want to. Sorry.
We'll talk about more mediocre things a little bit later on in the show. Doug, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah? Got a little cassoulet in your belly, so you happy, Doug?
Yep.
All right. So I know we were very tempted to leave the store. Plenty of opportunity, but we decided to show patience to the workers and not skip out on the bill. No, it wasn't packed.
They just didn't pay attention to y'all?
There was just, I mean, we were up at the front counter for probably 5 minutes at least. No one was there. No one.
Take some Andy's mints. Peace. I'm out.
I did. I had some mints and they were delicious. So, but yeah. So welcome to the show.
Oh, sorry. Speaking of Andy's mints, those mints like that, I got at the Renaissance Festival a block of fudge that was the mint chocolate fudge. It tastes exactly like that. It was delicious.
Like the grasshopper bark.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, it's the same concept.
Oh, okay.
Shit's gross.
Amazing is what it is. So welcome to the show. Got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to talk about feedback. We got some Hell in a Cell discussions, Raw, Total Divas, Hot Topics, Q&A, all the good stuff. So we'll dive right on into some of the feedback that we got. The first bit of feedback we have is from Rob saying, I like tacos, especially on Tuesdays. So very good stuff. I'm glad to know that you like tacos as well.
Were we talking about tacos?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with tacos.
Taco Tuesday is always badass. So, unless of course you're having enchiladas, which is pretty good as well. So that's what I had. But thanks for the feedback, Rob. Next bit of feedback we have is from Richard saying, trust me, fellas, my agenda is to be nothing more than a diehard John Cena fan and to get people talking about John Cena. I feel that John Cena is underappreciated. I appreciate the work you guys do on the podcast. I listen and look forward to it every week. I just want to bring attention to the Cena haters that there is more to Cena than he gets credit for. Maybe a listener is a Cena hater, and maybe, just maybe, what I post may change their opinion about John Cena. Either way, I am a Cena fan till the day I die.
Hustle.
HLR, hustle, loyalty, respect. So there you go. So,
Okay.
so no interior plans, no motive, just a diehard Cena supporter. Subpoena supporter. So, yeah, good stuff. So, thanks for the feedback there, Richard. We appreciate it. But now it's time to dive on into Hell in a Cell as it took place this past Sunday. We got to enjoy it on the WWE Network, which we tested it out on the PlayStation 4 for the first time. I know we tried it on the Xbox 360.
So it runs smoother than Xbox 360?
So much smoother.
Or same. You could tell a difference.
Oh,
for
my
sure.
goodness. So much smoother.
I mean, I know we've seen on Xbox.
We've tried the Xbox, and it was terrible.
There's like once that it did it.
Yeah, and we hooked up my laptop, and every once in a while it would act up. But
I mean, I didn't have any problems on the PS3 when I did it, but I never did it on Xbox.
Yeah, well, I downloaded the thing on the PlayStation 4, and it runs very smoothly. I think we only had maybe one or two hiccups throughout the entire broadcast. So very impressed with the way the PlayStation 4 handled the WWE Network. So for those of you who do have a PlayStation 4, there's an option for you to use. But like we said, Hell in a Cell took place this past Sunday. The first matchup we got to see Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental Championship. This one only ended in 2, which is kind of surprising. They normally have these matches go 3, just because it's a specialty match. But
sorry, I can't talk. I can't believe that Cesaro didn't pick up at least one win.
Exactly. Like I said, some of these matches tend to go to the third.
Well, I guess since that was like the first match, and there was some time for everyone else later on down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
Cesaro getting the shaft?
I'm not sure. I mean, especially with the way that they booked him for Hell in a Cell and the way that they booked him on Raw. Didn't seem to be very strong for him, a strong couple of days. But the match ends in 2 falls with the victor being Dolph Ziggler. Doug, what did you think about this matchup?
I was surprised too. I've seen 2 out of 3 falls matches end in 2 straight falls before, but not in the WWE to my recollection. That doesn't really seem like their style. So it was.
It's not an everyday occurrence when they have those matches.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see what the numbers are for the WWE, at least, as far as how many 2 out of 3s have gone in 2 straight falls. None that I can remember off the top of my head. Although it may have happened. I'm not saying definitively. It's very unlike them to do that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
This was real good, but it was real weird. And the fact that not just that Ziggler got 2 straight falls. I guess maybe they've been booking him sort of weak, and maybe they wanted to present him strong here. And I can understand that, but what I thought was really weird is I really thought they were maybe turning Cesaro babyface in this match just because of all the limb work from Ziggler on Cesaro came across a lot of the time to me as if Cesaro was working from underneath, that they were trying to gain some sympathy for Cesaro. Cesaro was selling the arm a lot. Ziggler was working the arm a lot, and a lot of his spots were sort of him hulking up out of the damaged arm, which is weird. It's not. I'm not saying that it is strictly limb work is strictly a heel tactic, but the way that WWE generally presents limb work is to gain sympathy for the babyface.
Right.
So they've sort of have me trained to expect that if I see limb work that they're trying to gain sympathy for a babyface. So it was a weird dynamic. And of course, I'm not saying it is a strict rule that only heels work limbs. I'm just saying that generally that's the story they tell. So whenever I see that, I expect that they're babyface and Cesaro. And it was sort of a weird dynamic to the match. It was a good match. It was just really weird for a number of reasons.
Yeah. I particularly like this matchup. I thought it was a very strong start to the pay-per-view. They had some good chain spots towards the end, especially with sort of like the finish for Ziggler, just trying to put Cesaro away for the second time. The superplex from Cesaro onto Ziggler was really impressive. The strength of Cesaro just cannot be matched. And it was very impressive to see how strong he really is to be able to, throw Ziggler around the way he does. The crowd was into it. I was into it. Like I said, I was a little bit shocked as far as the ending. I figured Cesaro would have gotten at least one victory in it, but Ziggler ended up getting the victory to retain the Intercontinental Championship. So all in all, it was a fairly good matchup. Good start to it. That takes us into the next match, which got to see the Battle of the Bellas, Nikki versus Brie. Loser has to become the personal assistant of the winner for 30 days.
I bet you wanted this to end quickly.
Actually, I think we all went into this matchup with low expectations of the match. I felt like they delivered. They stepped up their game a little bit in this matchup. There were some pretty hard shots thrown about in this matchup, some pretty tough kicks. It was a short matchup. The crowd was somewhat into it. But when the final bell rang, I actually wasn't hating this matchup. With Nikki end up getting the victory. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, this is easily the best Divas match I've seen all year. They really worked their asses off. They tried really hard. They definitely exceeded expectations. If you're going to nitpick this match, the only thing that I would really find to nitpick is that Nikki probably went to the, God, what do I have to do to put you away a little bit too early?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, this was totally fine and totally fun. And I don't know. If you're shitting on this, you're just looking to shit on a Divas match. I mean, this was totally acceptable. This was actively good. And this was,
Yeah, like again, I said, I think we had low expectations going into it,
sure.
But it was surprisingly, entertaining.
I expect the angle getting to the match was sort of dreadful, but the match itself was good. And we probably are going to expect the angle coming out of the match to be pretty bad as well, but that doesn't take away from the ring work. They worked hard and they put on a good match.
Yeah. So good stuff. So Nikki ends up getting the victory. Brie has to become Nikki's personal assistant for 30 days. Bitch, if you want to call her that. And they actually had a segment later on in the show where Brie was toting Nikki's bags to the car and Nikki pours the milk, a shake on her or whatever. Smoothie. Yes, thank you. And saying, now go make one for me the way that I like it. Ha ha ha. Bitch. So that takes us into the next matchup. Goldust and Stardust going up against the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. I thought this was another pretty solid matchup. I wouldn't say it was great just because I think we've seen these two perform with one another for so long now that they haven't really done much to wow me lately. So I thought it was a good match. It was a solid matchup. Can't remember too much that really happened, but Gold and Stardust end up getting the victory. What do you think about it, Doug?
It was fine. It broke down into some very familiar territory as the Usos matches seem to do, but it was totally fine. Yeah. Look, this pay-per-view as a whole was super solid.
Yeah.
And give me a card chock full of solid, fun, easy, digestible matches all day over a card with like 2 awesome matches and some fucking dog shit to slog through. Like I would much rather have consistently fun and consistently good matches than a couple of great matches and some bad matches. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was just real consistent, the card.
As we were watching it and as it was wrapping up, the only thing that popped into my head was the Money in the Bank 2011. A lot of people will only remember that pay-per-view for the CM Punk John Cena match. But when we reviewed it, whenever it happened, we went from top to bottom of that card, and all the matches were solid matches. So, and I had the same feeling for this one. There were a lot of strong matches. A lot of the people, delivered in their matches. Some people say, oh, well, it was predictable. Yeah, it might have been predictable. We predicted a lot of the winners. However, it was enjoyable. The only match that I really had any problems with was the Divas Championship match, just because I felt like that one fell a little bit flat. But all of the other matches, they had stories, they had different things to tell, different stories to tell. Some were, for comedy, some were for excitement, some were for action, So I didn't have a problem with this pay-per-view at all. I really don't know what a lot of people are complaining about, saying, oh, this pay-per-view is terrible. but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, you could nitpick this pay-per-view, and we're going to, because that's what we do. But I mean, I really don't see some of the real negative stuff that I saw. I just can't even see eye to eye with them. I don't even know where they're coming from. This was just solid top to bottom. I mean,
yeah. So, but yeah, Goldust and Stardust end up retaining the titles, taking us into the first Hell in a Cell match. John Cena versus Randy Orton. And I know there was a lot of debate over which match was going to be the first Hell in a Cell match and which one was going to close the show out. A lot of people were thinking Cena and Orton were going to close the show.
Good choice.
I thought it was an excellent choice. These guys, we know their history. They showed a video package to start it, which I thought was phenomenal. These two have their history. They have their past. And they both want to become the number one contender. So there's your story. There's everything that you need to know. And these guys went at it. A lot of good action, a lot of ring work, a lot of weapons were used. This is one of my favorite matches of the night. Very good stuff from these guys. And, a lot of people were going to talk crap about John Cena. A lot of people are going to talk crap about Randy Orton as far as their matches goes, but I feel like this is definitely a strong one. This was a very good matchup.
I guess I don't say this that often, or you won't hear me say this often, but I wanted Orton to win.
Yeah. I think we were all, you kind of swayed us in that one for wanting Orton to win. But unfortunately, he did not get the job done. John Cena gets the victory. Doug, what did you think about the matchup?
It was a very good match.
Yeah.
We have our qualms about how they got here, about what the stipulation, well, not stipulation, but what is going to come out of this match. And that's all fine and legitimate, complaints. But as a lot of people were rolled down on another Cena-Orton match, but, as far as I'm concerned, it's probably match of the night. I thought it was real good work from these guys. I don't know what else you could want from them. You could talk all the shit you want, but they delivered.
So it was really good stuff. So Cena ends up getting the victory and puts on a heck of a show. So next up, we got to see Sheamus going up against The Miz for the United States title. And this is what I was talking about as far as the comedic effect. The focus was mostly on Mizdow. Rather than the match itself. And I'm actually starting to have a problem with that because, you want the focus to be on the match, but, it's being taken away by Mizdow, which I understand they're trying to get him over with the crowd and, when that face turn inevitably comes. However, if you're wanting to put some prestige behind the United States title, you need to have some focus on the United States title and what's happening with it. But other than that, I thought the match was okay. Didn't have any real bad issues with the outcome. What did you guys think?
I honestly couldn't tell you if the match was good or not for the same reason that you stated, because it was so hard not to watch Damian Sandow because he's really crossed the line there. Like you said, it's too much. He needs to dial it back.
Or he can do his stuff, but don't have the camera, don't let that be all that we see.
Well, also, I don't know, the commentary guys talking about him the whole time, too.
Yeah.
So that does take away from it, though.
Well, commentary takes away from the match as it is. But, if he's going to be doing stuff, have the focus be on the match and just have him in the background, Well,
it's just evolved into he's trying to, work out, he's trying to mime out the whole match, and I just don't think that works.
Yeah.
And that's not even what a stunt double does anyway. I it's hard to fault Sandow because clearly he's doing the best he can to make the most of what he's been given.
Right.
So you can't fucking fault him for that, but it's somebody's job somewhere to say,
tone it down, just
dial it back, right? And look, I'm fine with what I would want to see out of him is, yes, he mimics the entrance on the way. They do it in stereo. They do the entrance together. He's standing on the side. I like whenever maybe the Miz is laying on the ground on the outside. I like that he'll go next to him. I like that. Even some of the bigger spots that he could play for comedy, like when he was planking on the
on the stairs.
That all works. But to mime out every fucking move that happens in the match is just too much.
Yeah,
and it draws too much attention away from the match. I think do the big spots, do the entrance, like take the finish of the other guy. That's all stuff that makes sense as a stunt double. But it's crossed the line. It's become this too big.
It's not
for what
stunt
it is.
double. It's mime now.
Yeah, and it takes all the focus away from what's going on.
Also,
Yeah.
I thought after match was over and he was grabbing Miz's arm and Sandal was laying next to him. And doing the same thing,
The whole
he should have, when he got him up and did the jiggle thing, he should have turned around and just clotheslined Sheamus.
Yeah.
That's what I felt should have happened.
It's like there's a point where you stop being the stunt double / voodoo doll mime thing and stick up for your guy. You know, like if this is the guy you're supposed to be partnering with, you need to make sure he's taken care of.
Yeah.
If Sheamus is going out there making Miz do the YMCA, you need to be trying to stop him. Like you're embarrassing the Miz, therefore you're embarrassing me. This cannot stand. So
I have less of a problem with all that before and after shit than I do like just during the match. Just the constant like that grates me like much more than the rest of it.
But regardless, Sheamus does end up retaining the match, the championship, defeating The Miz, which brings us into the next matchup, Rusev going up against Big Show. Another match that I felt delivered. These are two huge guys, and they cranked it up. I mean, there were some hard hits, some pretty fast action. Mark Henry made his presence known. We were expecting the heel turn, but it was not to be that night. But Rusev ends up getting the victory. What did you guys think about the matchup?
I mean, it was just pretty solid stuff from these guys. There was some good limb work from Rusev to start. Show sort of dropped the selling after a while, which was, I wish he would have stuck with that. But I don't know. Show's a guy who will, like, for a big man, like, bump around a lot.
Yeah.
Like, athletically. And that sort of, like, is what Rusev... I mean, that helps Rusev out a lot as to making him look like a, legit threat or whatever. So
Yeah.
I was fine with this stuff.
I like the finish where, Rusev delivered his kicks, and it brought Big Show down to his knee. He delivered another one, and he probably did like 2 or 3 of them, right? Something like that.
Can't remember. I remember like having a question over the finish because he clearly didn't pass out, but we didn't see him tap.
Yeah,
so we didn't know
it was
if
bad camera angle on
we
that
didn't know
one.
if the ref stopped it or if he tapped on
His
the
hand
far
was
hand
balled
or
up
what.
still.
Yeah, who knows? But Rusev ends up getting the victory, which takes us into the Divas Championship match: AJ versus Paige.
These girls just don't have any chemistry, do they?
Yeah, it's fizzled, and it's it's the storyline that isn't ending, but it's just I don't know what to do for these two. It was a short matchup. Like Doug said, they didn't have any chemistry together.
They don't in general, like in any of their matches to me.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't heard from the Divas champion in a while, and we have these, feuds that the only interaction they have is like one's on guest commentary while the other one's in the ring. Like that's it. Like, I don't know. If they're gonna do it this long, I want there to be a reason other than, oh well, I got a better friend than you now. Ha ha ha. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. But AJ ends up getting the victory. Like I said, this was the only match that I had any kind of issues with. But that takes us into the main event, the final matchup of the night. Seth Rollins going up against Dean Ambrose, Hell in a Cell. And this matchup had to start before the matchup, where Dean Ambrose climbs up to the top of the cell, and Seth Rollins sends up Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble, McCoy. And there's a brawl that ensues at the top of the cell. Ends up sending Rollins and Ambrose off the cage and through both of the announce tables, which was a good spot. I liked it, and the crowd went nuts for it. Then they had let's bring out the stretchers and bring them to the back, but neither of them wanted to do that as they brawled back into the cell.
There.
Kane made his presence known, which whatever.
Didn't really do that much.
Yeah, he used the fire extinguisher.
Wow.
But I enjoyed this matchup as well. A lot of good action, a lot of good use of the weapons and such. The match ended when Bray Wyatt made his return, attacked Dean Ambrose, giving Seth Rollins the win. So
I guess that's a way to get them away from each other.
Yeah.
Not only Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. I liked it, but I didn't quite like it. I don't know.
Okay. What did you like?
I like Bray Wyatt. I know they're trying to, since he's not with his brothers anymore or whatever, they're having something for him to do. I don't know. I guess I wanted Dean to win and just, that really wouldn't finish the feud, I guess, if he won.
Yeah, and you don't want to have Rollins get the win. It's sort of a tough situation to have either one win.
Yeah.
Rollins ended up getting the victory, but it was through the help of Bray Wyatt. So do you really want to have either guy get the clean win so that maybe you can continue this storyline a little bit further down the road? You could have, after the Bray Wyatt feud, Dean Ambrose could say, hey, Rollins, we're not done yet. Bray Wyatt was just a detour, but now I'm focused back on you. But I don't know. Doug, what did you think about this matchup?
Well, it's sort of hard to rate because it wasn't really a match. It was really one monster bump they took, and then they did a little bit of brawling after that. Mm-hmm. So less of a match, more of a big bump and, hitting each other with shit. But it was, that being said, it was a cool match with a fucking stupid finish. I get that you want to transfer the feud without giving a clear victory. I get that you want to keep both these guys strong. I understand that they're trying to say, well, once Seth eventually cashes in and is the champ, then Ambrose, has unfinished business with him, and he's a de facto challenger. I get all that shit, but this is the second pay-per-view in a row where you're giving a fuck finish in your main event, and that's just not good business, man. That's it's just bullshit. You've got we learn on Raw that it looks like the rumors are true, and that we're really not going to see Lesnar until the Rumble, at least not through November anyway.
Yeah, unless they do something at TLC.
And why would the fuck would they do that?
Right.
So we probably aren't seeing Lesnar until the Rumble. And last time Lesnar was here, you fuck finished his match. Now you're fuck finishing this main event. That's just bad business. There are people out there still paying $50 a pop for this shit.
Yeah, and they even made mention of that during the pay-per-view.
You're stupid if you're... I'm just saying, man, that's just not a way to do business. This is... clearly... not clearly, but it seems as if they're trying to change their model where they want to direct everything back to TV because you're getting this shit with the network or whatever. But you still got to deliver on the big shows. You can't have everything fucking happen on Raw. If everything's going to happen on fucking Raw, then don't have the big shows. Deliver on your main events. I forgive a fuck finish here and there, and I know that the roster's thin and they're trying to keep these guys strong to do other things with them, but that's your own fucking fault.
That's what happens when you don't build future stars.
You got to deliver on these main events. You cannot give 2 pay-per-views in a row where you don't give a real finish to your main event.
Yeah.
That's lame.
Yeah.
And it would have came off even. Luckily, they took Wyatt off TV for a while, because if he had been here this whole time, it would have come off even lamer. It would have had no impact.
Yeah.
I didn't have so much of a problem what actually happened, just the fact that they didn't give a finish to the match. It was fine. I didn't have a problem with what he did. It's just the fact that it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the holograms and the smoke.
You got to give a finish to these fucking matches, man. Especially your main events. Come on.
Yeah. Well, they did. They did, with Rollins getting the victory. And he was victorious. Not enough.
It's a fuck finish. It is what it is. They did it with Lesnar and Cena last month.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was it, the month before?
Whenever it was, yeah. But that's pretty much the end of Hell in a Cell. Like we said, overall, it was a pretty solid card, solid pay-per-view. So, not too much to nitpick about. But that takes us into Raw. It happened on Monday night. We kick things off with the Authority coming out, talking about, what's in the future, that being Seth Rollins. And Randy Orton comes out and says, hey, I gave you a chance. If you're not going to take care of this situation, I will. Attacking Rollins. Triple H tries to separate him, saying, we're not doing this tonight. We're not going to do it. Take the night off. Think about what you're doing. And then Orton delivers the RKO to Seth Rollins to make his leave.
Slowly turning Orton face.
Yeah, I mean the crowd was definitely behind Orton on this, and it's certainly looking like that babyface turn is imminent. Doug, what did you think about it?
I thought it was pretty enjoyable and pretty interesting. It's the first time in a long time I felt like Orton's been able to even make me like raise an eyebrow as to what he's been doing. It was like, oh, okay, we see a little fire from him. We see a little, I don't know, just it was a nice change of pace from when he felt like he gave a shit about what he was doing.
Yeah,
a lot of times he feels like he's just going through the motions, but felt like he was. He showed up for work today. I mean, you know what I mean?
Like, his mic skills. He showed more aggression, but I was listening to what he was saying. It sort of seemed like he was. So caught up in the emotion of it all, he was forgetting what he was trying to get across.
But I can relate to that, and I can appreciate that. Like, I don't mind that you're like a quote, like technically a worse speaker if you're giving me like the emotion behind it. You know what I mean?
I'll stop when he's dead.
Yeah,
that was pretty tough. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good start. Like I said, the crowd was behind it. And looks like Orton's going to be making that face turn here coming up soon.
Making that face turn,
rolling hard. So next up, we got to see Goldust and Stardust going up against Mark Henry and the Big Show. And they showed before the matchup, Big Show was unhappy with Mark Henry. He felt like like Henry came out there to distract Big Show during the Rusev match, and he was like, "No, man, I was out there to try and celebrate, but." I did get us something that'll make it better to you. I gotta say, a tag team championship match against the Dust Brothers. So this happens. It was an okay matchup. I thought, with Big Show and Mark Henry, there probably should have been a lot less offense on the sides of Gold and Stardust than there were.
It wasn't about the match, though.
Yeah, but just size differentials for me it would have. Made a little more sense if, they did what they did. But the, Mark Henry was in the ring. Big Show goes to tag himself in, I should say. And Mark Henry kind of turns around and is like, yo, man, what are you doing tagging me like that? It's like you don't even know me. Why are you hitting me so hard? I forgot what else he said, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
More or less. He's really good at that. You can hear what he's saying, but he's not on mic speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like where he's clearly not promoting to the crowd, but they're just overhearing what he's saying.
Yeah.
He always has killer lines whenever he's not technically on the mic, but you can hear him.
You tagging me like you don't even know me.
Yeah. I mean, it was sort of this comes about like really sudden for two guys who've been getting along. It was all about, I mean, I guess you could argue frustration pent up over losing to Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it, but Henry's just such a fucking good heel that like I'm like willing to just let them get him there however he needs to get there.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Good stuff. So, but yeah, during the matchup, Mark Henry ends up turning on Big Show, delivering the world's strongest slam, throwing Goldust on top of him, getting the 1, 2, 3, and then as Big Show starts to get up,
I think he threw Stardust on top of him.
Or Stardust, excuse me. As Big Show starts to recover, he gives him another world's strongest slam. The fans chant one more time, and Mark Henry obliges and delivers the world's strongest slam for a third time to Big Show.
What he did that was so awesome is before he did this like great babyface thing right before he turned heel when they were chanting sexual chocolate. He did the all like thing in the corner, where he's like playing. He had like this big like smile and like, and then they show Big Show and they both had big smiles. It's like,
having fun.
Yeah, it was like this great moment of like of perfect babyfaceness, like right before the heel turn. It's almost like he was playing it up like to that uber level right before he turned it. You know what I mean? He's really great about that little shit like that.
Just the little details. Like,
It was really good.
you're having fun, I'm having fun. Tag. What did you just do?
I know you didn't just tag me like that.
So 3 World's Strongest Slams, and then the giant splash on the Big Show, and that's what he does. And he was asked backstage why did he do what he did, and saying Big Show was jealous of him, that he was the world's strongest man, and he's always been jealous, and he's always going to be jealous. So,
Set up a Big Show Mark Henry feud.
Yeah, so shades of 2011 when they had their good run. So be on the lookout for that. So next up, we got to hear from Roman Reigns, who's been out with a hernia injury. And they basically asked when he's going to return. And he said, well, soon, I hope. And, talking about the match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and saying, oh, that guy is wishing he's the future, but I'm going to make him the past. Believe that. So, I mean, it's a good way to keep, the crowd, or at least remind the crowd that he's there and that he'll be coming back soon.
But every time they do it, it has the, it's like the gist of, hey, how's it going? He's like, pretty good. And they're like, oh, okay. That's the gist of like,
oh, cool, thanks. All right. Well, we'll make sure to believe that.
Right.
So, I mean, it was probably a minute long. Nothing to get from it. But next up, we got to see AJ Lee going up against Alicia Fox with Paige on commentary during this. And
how'd that go?
I mean, I don't know. It's another. I don't know. This thing just will not die. Paige went to try and motivate Alicia Fox by like pushing her and shoving her and all that, and then AJ ends up getting the win with a roll up, which they're all too fond of, and apparently no one can kick out of.
No, it's not possible.
It's not. So AJ ends up getting the victory after the matchup. Paige attacks Alicia Fox, screaming, you're a terrible best friend. I don't need a best friend. So
my real best friend.
Breast friend.
My breast friend.
Yeah, breast friend. Yeah, tell us more about your breast friends.
She lives in Glasgow.
Oh, yeah? That's interesting. So your best friend, what?
What
were you saying?
No, that's Paige's best friend lives in Glasgow.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. So next up, we got to see John Cena come out, cut a promo on, I forget what. But Stephanie came out, tried to convince him to join the Authority. He said, no, I do this for the fans. And then Stephanie's like, the fans don't like you. Who really cares about them anyways? And John Cena was like, oh my God, all the 12 years, all of a sudden it just makes sense. Of course I'll join the Authority. No, he didn't say that. But that would have been trippy. It was if he just like everyone's talking about, oh man, maybe this will be the time. Maybe this will be the time. What if just all of a sudden he just goes, you know what? You're right. Okay, I'll join. Just so nonchalantly. Sure. It would be so stupid. It would be so stupid. That would be the ultimate middle finger to like all the wrestling fans who have been like asking for a John Cena heel turn. But he's like, yeah, okay, all right, I'm on your side now. Rah! Hustle, loyalty, respect. But Triple H comes out and is like, see, I told you he wasn't gonna do it. I knew he wasn't gonna do it. But you're just gonna came out here and gentleman's bet. You gotta okay. But they set up the Survivor Series match, saying, okay, well, it's gonna be the Team Authority versus Team John Cena.
5-on-5.
Good luck finding some teammates or whatever, which, later on in the show, they show Cena talking to Dolph Ziggler and they shake hands. And then, another backstage segment was Kane talking to Ziggler saying, oh, I heard you were talking to Cena and I look forward to destroying you because of it. So that set up a match for later on in the night.
Right.
But this segment between John Cena and the Authority went about 20 to 25 minutes. Which is unnecessarily long.
Damn.
Don't really get it, but it was to set up.
They need airtime.
Yeah, I guess so. So, but whatever. And that took us into the next matchup. The Usos going up against Miz and Mizdow. And once again, this was another one of those where the focus was too much on Mizdow. But the match ended up with the little twin magic from the Usos. That's what they were calling it, so gotta go
Which
with
is lame because they're baby faces, and
Yep.
Miz and Mizdow didn't do anything that they needed. They didn't cheat to beat them or get any one up on them that they needed comeuppance for. It's just the Usos just said, "Hey, we're gonna cheat," win, which is lame.
Yep. So there's that WWE logic we all know and love. But the Usos do end up getting the victory. Nothing really special to come from it. But next up, we got to see Bo Dallas come out and say that he had issued an open challenge to anyone in the back. And Who
did you think? I was thinking like one of the Wyatt dudes were coming out.
I honestly, I was thinking how neat would it be to bring back Ryback, and sure enough, they really did. I was legitimately surprised.
I was thinking Harper for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought you got to bring in a good baby face for this role, and they normally don't do something like this unless it's going to be like a return of someone. And so I was thinking, well, it's not going to be The Rock. It's not going to be someone like that. I was
the big guy.
I was like, well, they did say that Ryback had been medically cleared not too long ago, so it'd be cool to hear the "Feed Me More," and then sure enough, you hear "Feed Me More," and the crowd goes nuts, and he does this thing to come into the ring, and the crowd was definitely behind him, which was a really good sign, and you could tell he was kind of taken back by it. He's looking at the crowd as they're chanting "Feed Me More," and it was really getting into it. And I saw a video from the Raw Fallout stuff that they do, and he started to get a little emotional from it. And he in that video he said, I've been injured for quite a while, and whenever you try and push through the pain, you tend to become someone that you're not. He was like, I was angry. I was a different person. I became a different person. And, I apologize to all the fans for the way that I've been. So basically he's apologizing for his heel run, which I thought was good, because we've talked about this before. Like when Del Rio did his face turn, he came out and said, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've treated a lot of people the way that I shouldn't have treated them, and I apologize for that. So,
it just takes a minimum of a guy going out there and be like, yo, I was wrong, or I was acting fucked up or whatever. Like that goes such a long way into believing in those guys as baby faces when it's just so long we've done this baby face like routine of
you're attacking the bad guy now.
Yeah, the heel got wronged by another heel, so now he's the de facto baby face. And that just doesn't work. I mean, like, you just forget about all the fucked up shit the guy's done before then just because some other fucked up guy attacked him. It's just it just takes a guy saying, look, man, I was wrong, or look, man, I haven't been doing shit the right way, but I'm going to try to do shit the right way, Like,
yep. And that's exactly what he said in the video.
That's all it takes. Yep. Like, you can believe in this guy as a babyface now.
He was like, to hear the crowd react the way that they did for me, reminded me of who I was to begin with. He was like, this is a time where we need, more good people in the world, and I was being a bad person. I apologize for that, and you're not going to see that side of me anymore. I want to be the hero to these people.
That's great. I didn't see that, but I'm glad that you brought that up.
Definitely check that out. And like, I was half expecting him to kind of like break down, because you could see the emotion in him. I don't know if he was playing it off, but
right.
It looked like genuine emotion to me.
He was pretty fucking over when he came out. The crowd was like immediately like, the one thing you can say about Ryback is he's always like sort of carried himself as a star, which is a lot of the guys they have don't do that. And so
they just come out, hey everybody, I'm here now. Whereas he comes out and is like, I am.
Right.
So
I just where I think that they ran into trouble with him is that he was just big, like, I'm gonna clobber dudes guy.
Yeah.
I think they ran into trouble when he had to start selling for people because people didn't understand the dynamic. So I think you have to be careful with how you book him like that. But
yeah,
I don't know.
He didn't do so well with Cena.
Yeah, I think they rushed him too quick, and then they turned him heel. So, but what can you do? But he has returned. He defeated Bo Dallas fairly quickly, and the crowd was definitely hot for it. So really good stuff. Which takes us into the next matchup, Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose. And before this matchup even gets started, Dean Ambrose gets on the mic saying, I'm not in the best of moods. Bray Wyatt, if you want to come out and, fight, let's fight. And then he attacks Cesaro with the microphone several times before the match even gets started, and ends up basically chasing Cesaro off, going back to the ring. And Bray Wyatt comes up on the screen saying, whenever I look at you, I look at, a reflection of myself as far as, how crazy we both are, or something like that, something to that degree. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this feud yet. What about you guys?
I feel iffy.
Yeah?
I don't know why. I just really do. I like them both, but I don't know if I really want to see them fight each other.
I think it might just be a little bit too soon for Wyatt to come back. We've been having these promos and videos and stuff like that. I just feel like it might have been just too soon. I don't know. What about you, Doug?
I don't know. I think it could be interesting, but I don't think we've seen enough to know either way.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? I mean, it could be cool. It could fucking suck. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's really disheartening for me to see Cesaro be like his fucking whipping boy out there. Though.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a rough couple of days for him. So never fun to see that. Like, and he shaved his head. He's growing out the little beard action and all that. It's just, I would love for him to be in that elevating area, where he's going to be going up to the next level. And it just feels like for some reason, whatever the reason might be, they're just not giving him the opportunity. I just don't know. But guess we'll have to just see what happens. But next up, we got to see Nikki with Brie by her side, going up against Naomi. And I guess Brie didn't want to be part of this, but she has to, otherwise she has to quit. And Nikki forced her to cheat a little bit, and she felt so bad for that, with the exception of, the times when they were heels, and that was totally acceptable. But Nikki ends up defeating Naomi. Anything to really take away from this?
It was weird because maybe I missed it, but I don't think that Nikki even prompted her to cheat. It's just like she saw an opening to cheat.
You better help me win.
She saw an opening to cheat, and then she did the cheat for Nikki, and then Nikki was like, there you go, Brie, good job, or whatever. And then Brie looked disgusted at herself or bummed out about it. But it didn't seem to me like she was saying, like, hey, now fucking cheat or whatever.
Hey, ref, pay no attention to what she's doing.
Sort of weird. I mean, I don't know. I really hate to talk. I really don't want to come over here and like shit on them because they clearly worked so hard on their match. And like, it really felt like
match good,
right?
Storyline bad,
right?
That's the easiest sum up you can do.
I mean, there it is. I mean that is what it is. I just hate to like. I don't know. I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth. It's just like the match was good and the angle's bad. I mean.
Yep. So there you go. So Nikki ends up getting the victory, which takes us into the next matchup. Dolph Ziggler going up against Kane. Really don't get the whole Kane wrestling in his, corporate outfit or whatever. I thought he removed the mask to remove the fighting tendencies, to take care of his official work and all that. And so he removes the demon just to continue wrestling, and now he's just losing. So
there's absolutely no consistency to what anything they do with Kane. So don't even try to make sense of it.
I guess I just need.
He's just there.
Just give it up. He's just there. He's filler. So
I'll kill her.
So Dolph Ziggler ends up getting the victory on Kane. But what did you guys think about the matchup itself?
It was fine.
Yeah.
Well, that one uppercut that he gave Ziggler, that looked like he knocked him the fuck out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sells.
I don't think I saw it.
I think like Ziggler was charging him, and he just gave him. How he gives him that open hand, like little under the chin uppercut. Yeah, he gave him one of those, but it looked like he just fucking caught him, like, pow.
Nice, good stuff. So that takes us into the main event: Cena versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins showing the worst for wear, having his ribs taped up, or his midsection, and this matchup, I think they went a little over 20 minutes or something like that. My goodness, I want to see more of these guys. Great chemistry between these two. I want to see a one-on-one match where they're both at 100% and it's just these two. No Mercury, no Noble, no Kane, no nothing. I just want to see Rollins versus Cena.
Yeah, we talked about this before. These guys have great chemistry and their styles complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would say, we've already seen that earlier in the year, that singles match they had that showed so much promise, but you could tell they were holding back.
Yeah.
We got a little more of that this time. And I'd almost say, I really want to see these guys tear it up on a fucking pay-per-view, but they'd probably fuck the finish. And I'd just be pissed off. So I guess keep it on
Similar
Raw.
to how they did here. And, but, I mean, my goodness, let's just have just a one-on-one match, fight to the finish, no false finishes, no outside interference, no weapons of any kind. Let's just have these two go at it for 25 to 30 minutes.
Eventually it would happen.
I think that would be up on par. If these guys got a good 20 to 25, maybe even 30-minute match where it was a clean finish and nothing dirty, just Rollins versus Cena, I think that would be one of the contenders for a match of the year type of thing. These guys have such great chemistry with one another that they could easily tear the house down.
Yeah, I mean, it's crystal clear that these guys have a great match.
Mm-hmm.
They just need the platform and to be given the clearance to have it.
Yeah. So the match ends up being a disqualification, and that causes the authority to attack, and then the locker room empties out, and for whatever reason, to I don't know.
I was like, wait, it ain't fucking Rumble time.
Some people are authority side, some people are Cena side, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, my goodness, how quickly everyone can get from the locker room to the ring all at the exact same time without fighting one another, I might add. It's hold off the fighting until we get to the ring. It would have been a nice touch if some of them stopped in the in the entrance and were fighting, but it's oh, we got to get to Cena. No, we got to get to Kane, and but anyway.
Guess they didn't know how it was gonna shake out until they got to the ring and saw who was hitting who.
Yeah, and it's hey, which side are you on? Oh wait, you're being cheered right now, so okay, you're on my side.
Don't fight until you hit the ring.
Yeah, so all in all, Raw I thought was okay. Nothing really big to take away from it, but yeah. So Hell in a Cell was good. Raw was all right, and now it's time to see how this pans out.
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Doug.
No wonder people call you fat on Twitter.
Shut up! I have to say, I feel like a real diva.
You are a grown-ass woman.
Hey, guess what?
Hey.
It's Total Divas time. So this is the mid-season finale. Hooray. Okay, this episode...
Hold on. We got to fix something. This is Total Divas with Doug and Tyler, mostly Tyler.
You're a grown-ass woman.
Yes.
I'll do it for you.
And now, Total Divas with Doug and Tyler. Mostly Tyler.
I don't know the other stuff.
Get ready, y'all. Tyler's about to go hard in the paint.
Something's going over my head. I swear. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about when y'all keep on saying that.
Nothing's going over your head. You just been playing all that NBA 2K15, so I just felt like anytime you're doing something boss, I'm going to say Tyler's going hard in the paint.
Okay. I guess I'll take that. Okay, so it focused around really three main main storylines. Let's go with Nikki Bella and John Cena. When they throw Brie, the Bella family, if they're all in this episode. Well, they focus on Nikki wanting, or no, I should say, Brie wanting, Nikki to follow her dreams. And since TJ and Natalia are going through a divorce, air quotes, that causes Nikki to say, hey, I don't want to go through that. So I think it's a good thing we're not getting married or whatever. So that changes her mind. And, throughout the episode, Brie is really pushing her. He's like, you need to, out through all the episodes, you need to, follow your instinct and follow your dreams and, do what you want to do. And she's like, well, I've changed, I don't want to go through that, what they're doing. And, they talked to, what was it, JJ and the brother and the mom, and they took Bree, JJ, and the mom, called up John Cena, called him to a restaurant.
Well, JJ is the brother that
Yeah.
was on Raw that one time?
Mhm.
Okay.
And called John Cena to a restaurant, and Nikki knows nothing of this. And they're questioning him all this stuff.
They're giving him the old family, like, hey, are you going to do right by our...
It's pretty much just JJ and Bree. The mom is just there, and then she actually defends Nikki. But it's, JJ was like, why don't you just let her go and let her find someone else so she can complete her dream and stuff like that. And he's like, I don't, I told Nikki when we first started, this is what I want, and it's like, if she wants to get out, it's fine. I told her, I don't want kids, I don't want to be married and all that stuff. And JJ was like, pretty much, hey, you just need to let her go and let her do her own thing. And I forgot how that ended, but pretty much, really the end of the episode ended that John Cena was trying to break up with Nikki because he says he's being selfish. He's like, you're changing because of me, and if you love something, you gotta let it go.
How was Cena acting the whole time they were questioning him? Was he like Daddy Cena mode where he's like real dry and calm and like...
Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. Nothing.
Every time I love whenever they show them together because he's like he feels like the dad, and like Nikki feels like his teenage daughter or something. Like the way he talks to her.
Nothing rattles him really. Yeah. And another storyline was, this is actually Eva Marie's wedding day, whatever.
I like how all the finales are on weddings. This is great.
Yeah, well, it didn't get the same feel as the Daniel Bryan and Brie wedding.
Oh, it was a bummer?
No, I mean, it was a nice wedding from what, it looked like, but I didn't get the vibe as, how they're making it bigger.
Right.
Throughout the episode. There really wasn't too much going on. She got ready, got all the dress, or they went to go, Jonathan and her went to go, get fitted, I guess, for a dress. And it was the same place, dress and the suit, same place. And Jonathan got 3 suits so he can change out throughout the evening.
Wow.
Yeah, that was weird.
Diva.
Yeah, that's what Eva Marie says. Like, there's only one diva around here, and she points to herself. The dress that she had was it was all white, and it was a long dress, and then when it got to from her waist up, and then it split into 2 things, you could see there's nothing in the middle. It's I guess you could see her cleavage and all that stuff, but it went around her neck. I was like
a huge boob window.
Yeah,
like Power Girl style, where it's
a little different, but kind of similar. And she's like, yeah, my daddy's going to be so proud. I don't know. I kind of laughed. I was like, I mean, our dad's going to be proud to walk her, I guess, daughter down the aisle. But I don't know how. I mean, he loved it, the dress and all that stuff. Was there anything else? There really wasn't too much. Then they showed the wedding.
Everybody was cool. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah. Vinny was there. He was dancing.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the wedding was a success. Oh yeah, one thing I saw and I was like, what the fuck? Because I think both the brothers was Jonathan's groomsmen. They come up to him, and he goes up to him and gives him, the, hey, I got your hand in one hand and half a hug, whatever.
Right.
I was like, really? I was like, y'all were become friends. Those 2 motherfuckers, the last season, were giving you shit. Now y'all cool.
It's weird.
But yeah, that was pretty much it. The wedding was all good, no drama. Now, here comes the drama.
Does it involve my 2 least favorite people on the show?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Are they still the absolute worst people in the show?
Okay, TJ wasn't that bad this episode. I swear.
They alternate. Like one
They
time you're like,
alternate,
I can't believe how awful Natalia is, and the next time you're like, I can't believe how awful TJ is.
All he wasn't even fucking talking this episode. He had like his headphones, and sometimes he was mostly on his phone.
Like his gimmick in the ring, he's doing the like not paying attention to her.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. He's just doing that, and she's like, "Oh, I can't stand to be around him." Like he's just like, talking shit, and he's just there on his phone. And I was like, "Oh man, he's really not doing nothing." I mean, I don't know. So Natalia was talking to Eva Marie and was like, "Hey, during the wedding, I know you have like all these tables. You want people to sit with each other. Can you like separate me and TJ so we won't sit by each other?"
It's not something you ask someone to do at their wedding.
And Eva was like so awkward. It's like, I don't want to do this. She's like, Natalia's like, I can sit by your mom. And Eva Marie's like, well, you don't really know my mom. And but she ended up putting them together. But then each of the cast members come together different parts. So there's one part where the Bellas were talking. They're like, well, we need to get Natalia and TJ together. So they told Natalia, hey, we're going out. This is a girls' night. Well, they also told TJ, hey, I forgot what they told TJ, but they got them together and stuff. And she was pissed. Like, this is supposed to be a girls' night. And to me, I felt like it was some sort of intervention because they were eating. And then here comes Ariane and Vinny, and they show up too, and they're all like surround them. They're sitting at a table, and like Natalia's about to cry, and like TJ's like, whatever. He's just sitting there, and they're trying to like, hey, why y'all fighting? They're trying to tell him, hey, y'all shouldn't be fighting.
So the guys and girls were there, or just the girls of Vinny and TJ?
Yeah, that was it. And she was kind of freaking out, and she eventually walks out, and then she wants to leave. They're all in this car, and they were going. I think I was after her. They're all going there, and Natalia wants to leave, and TJ's like, "Come on, they're throwing this for us. Just get in the car." And she's like, "No, I'm not getting in the car." And she's like trying to walk off, and all this bullshit. And so they get to the wedding, and she grabs Ariane. She's like, "Look at this list right here. I'm sitting by TJ." She's like, "Come on, that's your husband."
Who the fuck like makes demands of someone else's wedding? That's stupid.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, and like it's just her pretty much this episode is just her freaking out and contemplating, should I be with this guy and all this stuff. And it's like you could tell that TJ wants it to work. I mean, he's not saying much, but when he does talk, it's like he's not saying like, hey, I want a divorce.
Well, look, like I'm not like I don't want to put it all. Natalia is the worst. Don't get me wrong. But it's not, I don't feel like it's all on her. TJ is also the worst. He may be like, yeah, I want this to work. He may say those words, but he doesn't ever act like he's like trying to make it work though.
Yeah,
he just says, like, you know what I mean? They're both the worst. Don't get me wrong. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
And their story no. One thing, Natalia. Okay, you know how Natalia hates Summer Rae?
Yeah.
They're fucking buddy in this episode. It was they're sitting by like they're sitting on at a table, and she's like, "Well, oh, you like me more than TJ right now?" And it's like, and Natalia's laughing and all stuff. They're cutting up. I'm like, "What the fuck? You grabbed that bitch by her hair." Wow. Now you're friends. But the episode ended.
What about Rosa? Was Rosa on?
I did not see her at all. At all, unless she was at the wedding. I did not see her. Daniel Bryan made, cameo. He was there. But the episode ended at Natalia just walking out of the wedding and getting in a car. She's like, I don't know, I can do this. I don't know if I can do this anymore. And she gets in her car and takes off.
Well, this is the mid-season finale, so we don't know when it's back.
So we had one happy ending, two maybe like not so happy ending cliffhangers, if that's makes sense. No, but you're on the edge. You don't know what's gonna happen. Is John Cena gonna break up with Nikki? Isn't
this like
Natalia,
the second time they've done that?
Well, no. Nikki was the one that was iffy. Now it's John Cena. And now Natalya, they're gonna get a divorce, or maybe not. And there's drama going on that they showed next part of the season. Oh no, they got Paige and Alicia Fox. Oh no, it's crazy.
So crazy.
That's about it. Girl, bye.
There you go. So time on to move on into the hot topics of the week. For those of you who did not know and happen to own a Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, WWE 2K15 has been released for those consoles. And here to talk about it is our very own Tyler. Don't call me a bear ball so hard. Go for it, Tyler.
Booyah.
Tyler, I want you to go hard in the paint.
Go hard in the paint.
I will go hard in the paint. Okay, today we are recording this episode October 28th.
Yes.
And that's the day it comes out.
Correct.
I've read 3 different reviews.
Tres.
IGN is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, two of them was calling it really mediocre. IGN was one of them. The third one was all right, wasn't super great. Of course, they're going to get rid of some features, or they're not going to have certain things. Like, from my understanding, they don't have, like, like the graphic enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, who was Rosa making out with on Total Divas?
That was...
I'm looking at a picture, but I can't see.
That was like 2 episodes ago. It was some chick.
My bad.
There's some chick.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was trying to find when they're coming back while you're doing this. Good. Sorry.
From what they're saying, they were saying something about, I don't know if like the moves, like the grapple, like I said, the grapple, like that new paper, rock, scissors kind of grapple little thing when you first start, that's not going to be in there. And I think they took out certain modes. I don't know if this is going to be for the next gen or not, but the create a finisher is out.
Oh,
They took that out. They took out.
That never really worked.
Yeah, it wasn't that great, and I'm fine with that. They actually one little thing that I liked they took out apparently is how for 360 you can add your own tracks. They took that out. Yes, even for Xbox. What else? They were saying that the NXT mode for 360 and PS3 didn't work quite as well. I guess for the Xbox 360, what it felt like was last year, but how they were talking, like some of the moves were weird and stuff. So I don't know. It could be the same as last year's, maybe 2K14, but they were talking in the reviews like if you want to, this could be a rent. It's like if you want to play a wrestling game, play 2K14. I was like, wow. But I don't know how it could be a downgrade. I hope that 2K15 is really good on next gen consoles. But a lot of people have last few games, they're like, some people are like, oh, I don't like this part, but I've gotten used to it, and because it's still a lot of options that you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people gripe online like, oh, this game sucks. You have no fucking alternative for wrestling games.
True.
It's either you bitch and just don't play it, or shut the fuck up and play it. I don't know. I hope. We also saw that there were certain characters that there's 2 CM Punks, 2 Dave Batistas, 2 Daniel Bryans, 2 Del Rios, which 2 Del Rios floors me. I don't understand that. But they're notorious about, hey, we have these 2 different characters, but they have the same moves.
We have 63 people on the roster, but if you're counting only one person, then we've got 32 people on the roster.
But I thought there was one point they were going to have 92. I guess that's including DLC, but I thought I saw a screen of like the character selection, and I counted it was 92, unless that was fake. So no telling.
Well, is that counting managers and divas?
Divas has their own page. You click on them, and it goes to their own little page.
Just making sure, like, the 92 doesn't include all of that.
So I don't know.
Still kind of lackluster, though.
I don't know.
I don't like it that they're saying, oh, you've got all these people. It's like, yeah, you have all these people, but you've got 2 or 3 of them that are the same person.
Yeah, they do that shit, and it pisses me off. Yeah. And I don't know.
You've got Chris Jericho and Chris Jericho retro version and WCW version and ECW version. So you've got 4 Chris Jerichos.
Well, I saw that page.
Put those as skins on this.
Yeah, put those as skins. And 2 Randy Ortons.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that. Where did I hear that? I swear it's gonna be like 92.
I don't know.
And there's really no legends. I didn't see too many legends. What you have Stone Cold, and maybe The Rock,
Hulk Hogan and Sting, Diamond Dallas Page.
But they usually have like 2 or 3 rows of like current rosters and like 2 or 3 rows of like what they call legends.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. But 2K15 says there's the same amount that's in all rosters except for the next gen they're gonna have because of the My Career mode.
Yeah.
And what I only think of is Bill DeMott.
Yeah.
Is the only one.
We'll have to see. I don't know, but
I don't know.
Not a strong start for
no
for WWE 2K15.
No. From all 3 of them, it wasn't. One of them was like low 70s.
Yeah.
The other 2 was like maybe 6 something. And all that stuff.
Still not that great.
I don't know. I'm kind of worried though.
Yeah.
For the next gen.
Well, we'll see how it turns out for the next gen.
Maybe
consoles.
they, because they are having certain things in that. Maybe they amped up this one. That's what they're trying to prove. But why would they sabotage or make their other ones look bad if it's like, hey, guess what? That might suck, but hey, now you should get a PS4 or
maybe that's why they're doing
Xbox One. I don't know, but they've been hyping the shit.
Same with Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS is different from the Super Smash Brothers that's going to be coming out in a month or 2.
Yeah, but that doesn't really suck or whatever. There's different. I don't know. I don't know. There's also complaints about how like certain characters like look like too cartoony in 360, like John Cena, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, not enough improvement on their graphics.
Some of them look good and some of them don't.
Yeah, it's like for me, you could have the best looking graphics in the world,
just have the good mechanics.
Good mechanics, and my main concern is whenever you're actually fighting. I don't care about the cutscenes. You can make the cutscenes, have them actually be the real people. Mm-hmm. But whenever they're in the ring, that's what I want to look real.
Yeah. They also said, you know how last year they have Defeat the Streak mode? After you beat that Who Got NXT mode, you have some sort of like that,
Similar.
but with John Cena. The Superman John Cena mode thingy. What else did I see?
Get seen by John Cena.
There's some other stuff I was going to say. What else did they take out? They said that the universe mode, there was a few improvements, but that was the thing they needed to work on more. It seemed like they could have added more, but they really didn't and stuff like that. And like, I agree. I did like universe mode, but I saw everything they could throw out. There was like one thing I saw one time out of the storyline I'd never seen before, and I'd never seen it again.
Yeah.
Out of the storyline. So, I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? The showcase was the best out of modes. Was really the showcase.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
We'll have to see what improvements are made for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
But I think for those 2, I think the highlight is is the My Career mode.
Yeah,
really.
So we'll see how that all plays out. But thank you, Tyler. Good stuff. For those of you who are fans of Batista and or Marvel movies, I know it was announced.
Check.
It was announced today. We've got a lot of Marvel movies on the way, including Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2. It's going to be coming out in the next few years. Batista's going to be in all 3 of those.
I just think it's so awesome how it's like I never would think Batista would be in this situation and all that stuff. I think it's really good for him. And
Well, I heard that whenever they sign someone to these Marvel contracts, it's like you have to sign for like a 5-picture deal.
And that's good for him, you know?
Yeah. So hats off to him. Great stuff. So yeah. So be on the lookout
unless
for
he
that.
does
in
his
the
own
coming
stunts,
years.
you're not really beating up your body and you're making hell of money, you know?
Hell yeah.
Especially
Merch.
from Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of the Marvel family. You're going to make
yeah.
fucking tons of money. It's like, I know you like wrestling, but you don't have to go back to wrestling.
Heck yeah. Take your money and enjoy retirement.
Be
That's what I
smart.
say.
Be like The Rock.
Yeah. So, final bit of Hot Topic news. It's actually a rumor coming out earlier today that Kurt Angle will re-sign with TNA to finish out his career. Again, this is just a rumor. So, thoughts on Kurt Angle not returning to WWE, finishing it up in TNA? Because I know he's actually spent more time now in TNA than he did in WWE.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I missed him when being in WWE. But, I mean, if this is true and, like, they're not giving him, like, hey, like a little halftime contract thing for WWE, I mean, what can you do? Your body can't take a whole, you know.
Yeah, full schedule.
This sucks. I would like to see him back in WWE.
Yep.
Proper send-off, I guess.
How about you, Doug?
I'm sure once TNA folds and WWE can then buy his. Nah, I don't know. I'm just joking.
They'll just buy out his contract for less.
No,
You work for us now.
I don't know. It's past the point to where it feels like sentimentally for me, like I feel like he needs to be back. It's just sort of whatever. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, but time will tell. We'll have to see whenever. I think he said he makes his announcement in January as far as where he's going.
That's when they find out if TNA is fucking closing shop or not.
Yeah.
They don't have any dates
In America?
They don't have any dates until January.
Yeah. Did you hear that that report about someone driving by the TNA office during the week and there was no one there? Like not.
Well,
no
what are they gonna
cars
do?
in
They're
the
not running
parking
any
lot.
fucking shows.
Yeah. So it's kind of scary for him right now, up in limbo. But time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question coming to us from Seth Rickson, saying, do you feel that the current pay-per-view system is too structured and makes the booking too predictable? I feel that WWE should retire the Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell, and some other non-Big Four for a while, maybe after 3 or 5 years, book and build to a WCW type War Games, but with taller cages. Then start to rotate the old pay-per-view formats every few years, so they seem special again. Do you think that would freshen up the pay-per-views if this was done other than Punjabi Prison and King of the Road? What things would you like to see make a short-term comeback? I don't know if you meant King of the Ring or King of the Road.
King of the Road.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked about this a couple times as far as, too many pay-per-views. I feel get rid of the gimmicky pay-per-views like Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, TLC, make them mean something again. But will they do it? Probably not. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, it is problematic because everyone knows that this month, at this time of the year, these type of matches are going to happen. So the booking doesn't, or it's not like the booking organically gets these guys to these places where they need to have these types of matches.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just knows that, oh, well, in October, it's time for the cage matches.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Time to fight.
Right. So,
like, remember back whenever they announced that, all right, you two, I've had enough of this. You know, if you guys are going to settle it, you're going to settle it inside Hell in a Cell. And fans would go nuts. And I was just like, oh, this Sunday we got Hell in a Cell.
well, I feel like if I'm being honest, I think I can see the other side of it is that they know that X amount of people are going to buy Hell in the Cell no matter what because it's Hell in the Cell. Now, if you have these, they're not unbranded, but you have these pay-per-view names that don't necessarily have to do with like branding the gimmick matches, then you have a little bit more leeway. But if people know what they're getting at TLC, people know what they're getting at Hell in a Cell, and maybe that helps them be assured X amount of buys. I don't know. I could see that being a possibility.
Yeah.
So I could see why they may want to do that. But I think overall, and in the long run, it hurts them more than it helps just because they're so shoehorned into what they have to do. And nothing feels like it really belongs there.
Yeah.
Once it does happen. As far as like phasing it out and phasing in, like a war games is a gimmick match too. I mean, if the booking isn't good to get you to war games, it doesn't matter. Yes, war games is a gimmick match that hasn't been used in a long time, so it will be fresh just because of that. But ultimately, if you bring that back and you don't have the booking to get you to war games properly, then it's just going to be another gimmick match that you're shoehorning all these angles into.
Mm-hmm. And it's also been discussed, I don't know if it's officially confirmed or not, but there's talk about removing the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view for 2015 and moving it later in the year, like closer in the summer, and then rebranding the pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania as like Fast Lane or something similar that, says you're on the fast lane to WrestleMania or something like that.
I've sort of accepted like Elimination Chamber at this point. To me, it's sort of like part of Mania season in that that yes, Rumble winner gets title shot at Mania, but champion has to survive Elimination Chamber to get to Mania as well. So I've sort of accepted like Elimination Chamber bothers me less than like your TLCs and your.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it needs to be there. They could easily do without it. But I've sort of accepted that goes down easier for me than some of these others.
I kind of like let that go. I mean, I don't want to see it anymore because of now they have one title.
Mm-hmm. And how many times has the title changed hands at the Elimination Chamber leading to WrestleMania?
I mean, it has.
Yeah, but just not very often. So I think most of the time the matches are kind of set in stone, with the exception of like the Undertaker losing to Chris Jericho, setting up the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker matchup and all that. But I don't know. I feel like if they already have their WrestleMania card in mind, pretty much whoever is the champion going into Elimination Chamber is going to go out as champion.
I mean, not necessarily, but maybe.
Yeah. So, but thank you for the question, Seth. We certainly do appreciate it. Next question is coming to us from Garrett, saying, my question is, what did you guys watch when you were kids? I was watching Power Rangers. So I guess aside from wrestling, what did you guys watch growing up?
Well, I'm a big kid of the 80s. I was born in the early 80s. All that like boy shit, the cliche boy shit from the 80s is my childhood. I loved all that shit. I was a big He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I was big Transformers, big G.I. Joe, big Thundercats, all that shit. Even some of the lesser known shit that was still sort of like revolved around that, like your Silverhawks and shit like that. But all that like boy cartoon show accompanied or cartoon show that was made to accompany action figures, or cartoon shows that were made to sell action figures, like all that 80s shit, like that's my childhood.
Nice. How about you, Tyler? What did you watch growing up?
I did watch Power Rangers. Let's see. There's different
Not
stuff,
only did we watch
Thundercats.
Not only did we watch Power Rangers, but we actually got to meet Jason David Frank not too long ago.
What was it? Street Sharks, stuff like that.
Nice.
What was it? Cowboys of Moo Mesa. What was trying to think of all the other stuff. There's a lot of cartoons I watched.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Planet.
Yeah. I know I watched Rocko's Modern Life, Doug, Ren and Stimpy. I watched Power Rangers, Animaniacs, The Critic, The Tick, The Amazing Spider-Man, X-Men. Grew up watching all of those.
I think this is an older cartoon, but they still showed it. They still showed it, whatever. But I still love it, and it's not for everyone. But I love Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool. I watched a couple episodes of that growing up. So good stuff. But thanks for the question, Garrett. Getting to know a little bit about us, I guess. Next question is coming to us from Jaggy Babs on YouTube, saying, "Hey guys, love the show as always. I was thinking, do you guys think Rollins is viable as a world champion material at the moment, especially considering now there is only one world title? Seeing as Brock has the title, I can't see him dropping it to Rollins. I can see Rollins cashing in at Mania because it would be a first, and it would be the culmination of him getting what's coming to him when he loses the match to whoever Brock drops the title to. Do you agree he will win the title, or do you think he will drop the Money in the Bank to someone else?"
I think he's going to win the title.
Yeah.
I think they're really high on him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to drop it.
Maybe that Mania moment. You never know. But do you think he is championship material at the moment?
I don't know.
Not sure.
I'm iffy.
Still undecided on that one. How about you, Doug?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Do you feel that Seth Rollins is championship material right now at this moment?
In the ring, he's there. I think his promo could use some work, although he's come leaps and bounds from where he started as far as talking, because he was dog shit in ROH as a talker. He's come a long way, but he can still use some work. And I mean, as far as like charisma, presence, yeah, he could come away with that stuff. But in the ring, he's there. I mean,
okay. Good stuff. So thanks, Jaggy Baz. Last question coming to us from Occam City, saying, "Hey guys, if the physics for WWE 2K15 are as good as they are for NBA 2K15, which Tyler knows all about, the game should be amazing. For Ambrose's gimmick, I want to see more Brian Pillman and less Joker. Since Halloween is this week, are there any WWE promos or moments that either scared you or freaked you out? For me, it was definitely Jake the Snake unleashing the Cobra on Randy Savage in 91 or 2. I was 5 or 6 when it aired, and it always stayed with me. Another moment was the Taker sightings in 94. The only promo I remember was the one with the school teacher and Taker appearing in the playground. Again, I was still pretty young to me, and wrestling was still real. So thanks, Occam City. What do you think, Tyler? Were there any WWE promos or moments that scared you or freaked you out?
Boogeyman.
Boogeyman? Yeah?
No, I don't know.
He is coming to get you.
Yeah. Did you see that video they posted, I guess recently, that got him to come?
Scared all the talent and all that?
No.
Wait, what?
All the people in the corporate office.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see all of it, but I saw like just a couple stills and stuff like that.
No, there's nothing that comes to my head about
nothing scary.
Something, yeah.
That's so scary. How about you, Doug?
you want to think of anything that I was afraid of.
Nothing freaking you out or making you scared?
I don't think. Not that I can remember.
Yeah, same for me. I don't know. I can't. Nothing can really come off the top of my head. So, but anyways, thanks for the question. We certainly appreciate it. Make sure to submit your questions by going to our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, our YouTube page, WNS Video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on there if you're listening on YouTube. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, and subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Hey, also on our Facebook page, talk to us about WWE 2K15.
Yeah.
'Cause we'd like to talk about it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
If you want to follow us on Stitcher,
Y'all doing that
Pod-
Don Dynamite shit? Because you put up a picture or whatever.
Yeah, we haven't had any entries for that, so I guess either no one
Well, you
listened
didn't
or...
officially-
Well, I was just
say
showing it
you just-
because
Oh, yeah.
because
We were going to
talked
talk
about
about it.
yeah, we haven't really talked.
So
about
for those of you who are listening right now, let us know if you would be interested in doing something like that. So, because if you aren't going to put in the effort, we're not going to put in the effort.
I just also wanted to show the evolution.
Yeah. Evolution of John Dynamite.
We're on Stitcher,
Yeah,
Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
This is John Dynamite going to be fighting in WWE 2K15. Is that how he would sound? No? Okay.
Doug's turn.
Doug's turn.
What are we doing?
The sign
I'm
off.
sorry. I get this.
Did you ever find out when Total Divas returns?
No, I couldn't find it.
Oh. Okay.
Are we on Twitter now?
Yes.
Okay, follow us on Twitter at WNS I'm sorry. Someone started messaging me. I had to respond. I had to do it right then.
Okay.
Follow us on Twitter at WNS Podcast, at WNS_Daniel, and at Tyler_Abear.
Especially Tyler _Abear. Got to get that million. Millions for Abear.
Send them dick pics.
Send him lots of dick pics. So there you go for the podcast crew.
It goes hard in the paint for dick pics.
I am
Wow.
Daniel Heron.
I am WWE 2K15.
No, you're not. I'm Teenager of the Year Dog, and we will see you all next week.
And we'll see you all next week.
Dog?
I just said that.